I think I'm going to start this podcast out with a quote,
Okay.
if that's okay with you. So we were at the Tony Robbins Time to Rise Summit for 3 days. Well, it was 3 hours a day
Yeah, it was
for
3 days, 3
days.
hours. Yeah.
And this is a quote that I really liked that I've been implementing since then, and I think is very relevant to our topic today. Never leave the sight of a goal without taking some form of action towards its attainment. Now, sight is spelled S-I-T-E, which is a physical place.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, every place in your life is a site.
Yep.
So if you consider that every time you're in a space, before you leave the space, what can you do to make it just a little bit better?
Because we live in a landscape, whether it's emotional, mental, whatever.
We're always affecting our environment.
Yep.
I think I'm going to talk about decluttering in general a lot more again. So what I'm feeling is kind of a theme around decluttering because it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and there's a lot of energy moving. And we just did a lot of decluttering recently, so it's very present for me because of that. But anyway, so this quote, don't leave the site without taking some action towards the attainment. So what does the attainment really mean?
Well, there could be different levels. There's the attainment most of us are used to, which is the idea of it being completed absolutely in every way.
There, let's use that one because I like that. So if you have a space and you want it to be a certain way, the attainment of that is when it reaches that. So if your living room, the attainment of your ideal living room is that everything is neat and put away and dusted and clean, then go through and clean it up a little bit when you walk through.
Yes. So if you're gonna make an ideal living space or a site or a landscape,
or a project you're working on,
yeah,
anything,
whether it's personal stuff you're dealing with in your life, imagine just make everything a site, like literally everything. Make everything in your life a site. How you talk to people at work, how they talk to you, your relationship, everything. It's a site, and you're standing in it, and there's a landscape full of variables in it. Rather than trying to fix it all at once, find that one thing you can make an adjustment. Before you leave that site, take some form of action. I don't need socks on the coffee table anymore. Ta-da!
Just like that.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're interested in what we're talking about, it's right there in the link below. We have a free mini course we'd like to invite you to help make this whole thing super easy. And again, we're not teaching you or offering anything to you that we don't use every day. In fact, because of what we do being so successful for us, that's what made us put this together for you. And we really want to invite you in to check it out.
The mini course is a 3-part top 3 secrets for a successful midlife reboot, which is kind of our story.
Yeah.
And it also kind of helps you understand what we do, why we do it, and why we're so passionate about helping other people do it, because it's so easy when we stop overthinking it. So when we're talking about taking action, start now, not later, that's what it is. If you're like, oh, I always wish I could have fill in the blank.
Yeah.
If you live in someday I will, well, I'll get to that eventually. If your language and your mindset is around the future that tomorrow never gets here, it's always a day away.
Yeah, it's a small principle I came to on my own years ago. We all live in reality, which is full of nature. And nature is very kind because it works in sequence. It always will. Past, present, future.
Cycles.
Yes. And you can't go from the past to the future. You have to, at some point, be in the present. And when you're in the present, you have an infinite supply of right fucking now. And what you do with right now.
Can I quote you on that one?
Yeah.
When you're in the present, you have an infinite supply of right fucking now. Oh, I like that.
And so if you're thinking about your future a lot and like, I would love this, or I want that, or whatever the case is, like she was saying, instead of being in, I want to-ville,
So there's an invitation with that, unless
Go
you
ahead.
were continuing. The invitation is that
I can always continue.
you seem to be at a little bit of a comma that was taking a while. The invitation is to think of your life as a cycle that's kind of spiraling forward into the future. I don't know if you have you seen that video of the planets and
Yeah.
the thing moving through space,
Yeah,
and
it's not
like
an orbit, it's in a,
it's this spirally
yeah.
weird thing. So ever since I saw that visually, it helped me kind of think about when say it's February of 2024. So the choices that I make today will affect the February of 2025. When I come back around next year to February 2025, what do I want to have changed? And if I say, I really want to skydive before February 2025, I want to, maybe I will. I'm thinking about it. Someday I'll do that. So next year at this time, I haven't done it yet because I never put it on my bucket list
Yeah.
and I never put it on the calendar. So next year, your whole year has gone by, a full cycle. And I'm like, dude, I didn't go skydiving. So you can do that with your entire life and end up not doing anything you want to do. But that's kind of silly.
So here's other questions that I ask myself in a more condensed version. How do I want to feel? So when you're thinking about what I want, what I don't want, the things that I'm, whatever the case is, how do you want to feel? Think about yourself in it and how does it feel? Start with something that simple. That simple step is what brings all that to the surface to make it possible. Taking a small step is not a waste of time. But if you don't take any action, then guess how much is going to happen? How do you want to feel? And what's one thing I can do that's simple and actionable?
That's what Tony Robbins said.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he takes action every day?
I think he does.
I think he does.
I mean, just brushing those teeth is an action that he needs.
Hey, he's used to those jokes. We were really inspired by spending those 3 days, enough that we're going to spend the 4 days in March that are 12 hours a day as a huge transformation point. Just the energy alone of even being on a Zoom call, the collective of people that show up that are excited to jump into their life, that are excited to take action and
Yeah.
are supporting each other, the community, the camaraderie, the emotional stuff coming up. It was cool. It was really cool. And it's gonna be 4 days, Thursday through Sunday in late March.
Yeah. 12-hour days.
12 hours a day, and we get to do that from home. I don't know what it's going to be like, and I'm moderately terrified, which is really good. And I think that that's a place I've learned to enjoy being.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Andrea and Jeremy, your lives are so orderly. You know everything, and you couldn't fit a stick of gum between the joints of your perfection. What do you need with a Tony Robbins event?
Who is that talking?
It's not us, because that's not what we believe at all. Take action if you want to feel good and go in the direction that you deserve. A happy life, joyful, fulfillment, accomplishment, to do the things that bring you joy. Start somewhere.
Whatever area of your life isn't chugging along like a happy choo-choo train, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
That's a good smooth tracks and a blue sky. And if you're not on that track, that's why we're here. And there's lots of resources in general to find out how to get back on that track.
And
one step.
Our course will definitely be a big help to you. And I know that's exactly what we're supposed to say, but we mean it.
And we just really like to hear from you because we know we're not alone. We found each other somehow in this haystack of a universe.
Yeah.
So we know that there's other people out there that sing the same songs we do, and we want to hang out with you guys.
As the time of this recording, it's February 11th of 2024. We met on November 30th of 2019. And so we've been together 4 years.
Yeah.
2 weeks after our first date, we got engaged. So no one was more surprised than we were. And what we've come up with this late in our midlife to make our lives work, we are putting in that kit to help you too.
Absolutely.
So please like, subscribe, comment, get to know us. Let's engage. We'd love to hear anything about your life in this regard, how this has landed on you, anything you want to share. We'd love to read it and get to know you.